DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tour France, where we currently have another stop of the DreamHack Open going on. And tonight, we have one final best of three between the home team, EnVyUs, and their opponents, HellRaisers. Who's going to take it? That is what we are about to discuss. I'm Parla, and I am your desk host for this event. I'm still joined on the desk by the wonderful analysts known as Blair and Natu. Guys, what's going through your heads right now?
Well, some HellRaising's about to happen. It's pretty hot. I took off my jacket. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Natu?
Yeah, the heat is definitely ramping up right now. Obviously interesting yesterday. We saw Envy take it to HellRaisers 16-3 on Inferno. Whether or not that's going to happen today, I am slightly doubtful.
Yeah, let's get Group B up on screen. This is exactly how we have gotten to tonight. North over Imperial went on to beat EnVyUs, who had beaten HellRaisers, and that put them down into the decider match. And HellRaisers got into the decider match after beating Imperial earlier today 2-0. North made it all the way to playoffs. Let's talk about maps, guys, and who do you think, which maps do you think will be picked and banned by these teams?
I think HR might actually try and go for a power play here, and they might just ban out the couple of maps which EnVyUs are comfortable on. EnVyUs don't really have much of a map pool, to be very honest, right? But there are two maps where they can potentially do some damage, which would be Cache and Train. I'm not including Inferno here right now, because I'll get to that a little later. So I'd like to see HR actually ban Train out first. And I'd like to see, I would probably see EnVyUs banning out Overpass, because it's a map they could, really not do anything about. And I think it's going to come down to Dust 2, Cache, and Inferno. I'm just putting it out there. Okay,
Dust 2, Cache, and Inferno. If it were to go to those maps, Natu, which team do you think would be in a better position?
I think, no doubt, it's going to be HellRaisers that are in the better position in the big picture. Envy just came off of losing in an online game right before here.
To attacks.
To attacks in the GGBet Majestic.
Yes.
Then back to this tournament, now they're going to have to face off against HellRaisers here. As we can see, HellRaisers do take out Nuke. Overpass goes out by Envy. HellRaisers picks Mirage. Trained by Envy, Cache, Dust 2 out, and Inferno as the decider.
It's interesting, right? Like, HellRaisers, their permaban is Nuke, but EnVyUs don't play that map either, so I would have expected HellRaisers to go for, ban out Train, which EnVyUs has picked right now, and then go for the Nuke ban in the second round of the bans, or maybe even force EnVyUs to go for that. So,
I think the logic behind this, that they're thinking, considering Envy's probably the situation right now, what it is, they may have just gone for that nuke play.
Could be.
For the hell of it.
Yeah. YOLO it, right?
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
all right, okay, what do we do now?
And then you never know how that's going to turn out.
True.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more specifically about our team, starting with EnVyUs. Their tournament began with a emphatic win over HellRaisers. This is sort of the rematch in a best-of-3 format, but then their second matchup was really not a great performance against North. 8-16. How can they avoid having that happen again? Is it going to be useful playing a best-of-3, so you've got more than one shot of getting to those playoffs now?
Yeah, I mean, in a best-of-1, obviously the upset potential is bigger. A best-of-3 really insists that you are consistently able to perform to a certain level. And now, yesterday, like if you look at that match yesterday, it was a game of where Envy played super well. They took initiatives a lot. They did a lot of information plays. They were very proactive. And this man on your screen right now had a phenomenal game of Counter-Strike. And on top of that, HellRaisers themselves played under their own level. They were very, very stale. Angel said in their interview earlier today that they felt off of their game. Nothing was working out. So when you combine those two things, that's the end result we're going to get here in that game. Now, coming to this matchup, I feel like HellRaisers are going to be a totally different team. I don't think the Lightning is going to strike twice in the sense that EnVy should be able to pace the game as much as they were able to. And I think HellRaisers have definitely learned their lesson that this is going to look like a much more of a HellRaisers game. However, you never want to throw in the towel when you're EnVy. They still have a tremendous amount of skill. If things click, if they're hitting their shots, they're going to be a very, very hard opponent for HellRaisers. But at the same time, still HR, they to me right now, they seem like the better of the two.
Blair, what do you expect to see before we move on to HellRaisers in terms of team play from EnVy? Because we noticed at the start of the tournament it was more free form, and that was paying off on that map of Inferno. But then on Dust 2, was it against North?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where it sort of crumbled. So here in the best of 3, what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, they should go in with the mentality they had yesterday. I think that's what, can really get them going, right? They just lost to attacks literally, like, I think 30 minutes back. So they should be just forget about it, forget that ever happened. And right now they should be approaching this game saying, hey guys, we beat them yesterday. Yes, they're a formidable opponent, but hey, just look at us, right? You got RPK, you got Happy, you got Scream, you got this really famous, well-known people with a lot of pedigree in your team. So you can take the fight to them, but they need to be a little bit wary of, if HellRaisers switch it up, they're going to be playing a little different. They need to be able to adapt. And that's where Happy's experience as an in-game leader, yes, I get it. Many people don't really rate him that highly as an in-game leader right now, but let's be honest, right? He's won the major. He's been an in-game leader with some of the best players in the French scene. This is where it's going to be his real test, and I think it's going to be on him to make something happen here.
Yes, turning our attention over to HellRaisers. Natu, what do you think their approach will be with regards to EnVyUs?
Be ready for the aggression, be ready for the information plays, the things that happened in the previous match. Meaning that you need to be much more decisive. I like the fact that they did take early control in the map yesterday's game too. But the problem was that then on after they spent 30 to 40 seconds without doing anything. And it seemed like whether they didn't have the plan or they were just not communicating properly, and then we kept on taking advantage of that all the time. So they really need to get the tempo going. They need to be really, really smart on what they do. And I would really be very happy to see HellRaisers, especially if they get a CD start of Mirage, for example, to start off by being very aggressive and just take to the fight to EnVy, because we know this team likes it. Angel really likes that kind of gameplay, and I know they're capable of doing that with the individual skill that they have. So yeah, I would be super happy to see them take the game to EnVy.
And also, like, if you look at HellRaisers, right, the good thing going for them is today's dismantling of Imperial was very,
yes, that's what
impressive.
I was about to mention, because earlier today, everybody at home, if you didn't catch it, they didn't even let Imperial get onto double digits on either of the maps. They beat them
combined, I think.
Potentially. And so, Blair, that momentum surely at the start of the day, also in terms of competitiveness, it's a good warm-up, right?
Absolutely. I mean, HellRaisers, like Natus mentioned earlier, they are a loose-style team. They have very passionate players in this team. Like, if you look at Issa, just look at that guy, look at Walks, they're very excitable young people, really hungry. And when you look at the performance they had today, they're going to be riding on that wave, on that high. And also the great thing for them is Bondik really stepped up. Angel was leading by example. He was top fragging that first map. He was, second top fragging his second map. And here's the thing, I've never seen a tournament in the recent past where Walksik has not had a massive game, and he's due to have a big game. So far, he's been doing a great job with the AWP, but he hasn't really stepped up. It's his best friend in the team, I would say, Issa, dropping like 45 kills or something. No, 51 kills in 2 maps against Imperial. So I'm just waiting for Walksik to wake up. And looking at these maps, looking at Train, looking at Mirage, and potentially Inferno, these are 3 maps where Walksik can just go off, and yeah.
Everybody in the chat, firstly, hello, how are you doing? Don't forget you can get involved with this match here by voting on who you think will win. For EnVy, do !NV, and for HellRaisers, !HR. We'll get on to who our money's on shortly. Which players are going to be battling it out on this map? The key sort of positions, and who do you think needs to step up, other than Walksik, as you've mentioned?
So I think the first map's going to be Mirage, right? So I think it's going to be, well, Issa on the CT side. He's been phenomenal. I think it's going to be him as a rock and kind of shutting things down. He's going to be the stable player for HellRaisers on the CT side. And for EnVy, right? it's going to come down to Kiyoshima again. Like, he's been really feeling it, and Scream as well, right? He was really stepping it up on the CD side. We really didn't see much from him on Dust 2, but we did see some pretty nice one-taps coming out from the AK-47, so I'd like to see that Scream / Kiyoshima facing off against Issa. Okay, and Blair, you might as well let everybody know 3 reasons why the team you pick to win is going to do so. The 3 reasons why. Firstly, I think, yeah, let's bring it up. 3 reasons why. Reason number 1, yesterday was an anomaly. It was a fluke. 16-3, whatever happened. I don't think we're going to be seeing that level of a scoreline again. Second thing, HR. Oh, we could. I'm sorry, guys. Just have to be honest, right? Welcome to a home crowd. I know, right? Just fight through it. Don't worry. They're passionate. They're allowed. I'm going to stick with it. I think it was kind of an anomaly. Second thing would be that HellRaisers, they dismantled Imperial earlier today, right? They completely destroyed them. They're looking really, really confident at the moment. And thirdly, EnVyUs are an emotional team, right? If things are going right, they can't really destroy like the way they did yesterday. But if you look at today, they've already lost 2 attacks online. I'm not too sure if they'll be able to shake it off. I'd love to see them shake it off, but yeah, there we go. 3 reasons. Thank you very much for those 3 reasons brought to us by Hacks. Let's get into predictions. We know Blair is going with HR. Natu, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, the surprise package in the series could definitely be trained. It's a map that HR historically hasn't really played that much in the recent times either. They've only played it like less than 10 times in pretty much this year, right? So that's the one map where EnVy definitely does have a chance. And if things do go right, yes, EnVy could take it to HR. But I feel like, just like Blair was saying there, HR just much more of a team at this point in time, and I think that will show in this best of 3 series. I agree. I think it will be HR. Also, when we spoke home crowd. When we spoke to Angel earlier today, he did mention that he thinks this is the best HR roster they have
Can't hear you. I think we need some protection.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Our casters are ready, so let's get them involved. Vince and Niels Top, also known as Risk. Guys, this is going to be a very exciting matchup given the intensity of this crowd, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you have to feel for some reason, like the storyline of EnVyUs just being so pressured and then having the chance of taking it at home field, but I just don't see it either. Like, yes, they have potential, but I just think HR's just general skill level is just above them right now.
I'm like 50-50.
Oh, now you're going to pander it?
Here we go.
All right.
No, Vince.
The reason why is obviously EnVyUs yesterday looked phenomenal. Today, not so much. They just lost to alternate attacks. But that could be a real fire under their backsides that gets them back in form again. And as this is something that Natu said a great deal of times, and I completely agree with him, I think you learn more from a loss. I think you can actually take that on board. And obviously you could counteract that and say that HellRaisers would have learned from EnVyUs yesterday. But I feel like they've got a point to prove here in front of this French crowd. And I think I'm going to just edge of EnVyUs. I'm going to say it's going to go the 3 maps, though.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much,
crowd pleaser,
Vince and Risk. It's the home team EnVyUs playing against the international lineup of HellRaisers.
Indeed it is, Risk, and it should be a good match. Whatever happens, I don't think we're going to have like the 16-3 bloodbath that we witnessed yesterday.
No, definitely.
If it will go one way, in that way, I think honestly it'll be HellRaisers that dismantle EnVyUs. But yeah, I am hopeful for a 3rd map. I am hopeful that EnVyUs will show us what they're capable of doing. You also have to take into account that we don't know what the kind of setup was for those guys playing alternate attacks online. We don't know if they had everything as comfortable as they normally would when playing online at home, for example, or in a boot camp. So I think there are some asterisks and caveats to be put down there in terms of losing against alternate attacks, who may themselves just played out their skin, like, unbelievably well.
Yeah, Hundred and the boys actually are playing really well recently, so they also beat AGO just before that game against EnVyUs. So, like, beating 2 teams who are really, really good, both on LAN and online. So, yes, it might be Team Envy, like, losing that, but alternate attacks might have been a perfect game, and as Bless said, like, that might light a fire under them now because, oh, we lost this game, we could have gone to that LAN, but this is a LAN we're actually at. Exactly. In France. Yep. Surely that has to be the focus. Like, if we go to them before this day started and said, like, okay, you can have 1 win. You can win either in that qualifier or you can win this LAN best of 3. What would you take? And there would be no question. They don't care about the other LAN if they can get the win here.
But I think one of the reasons why it's so damn hard to predict is because both teams, we've seen different sides to them. We've seen the side of excellence. We've seen the side of a complete collapse. Which one's going to show up? Obviously, the crowd is giving you an idea what they want to see happen.
Je t'aime, France. C'est très bien. Let's get into it. Pistol round underway. Flash smoke on Dead Fox. And the rest of the team on pistols. Isa has gotten that drop P250, so he's the raid boss for this one.
Certainly is. But so far, no early casualties in the round. There we go. It's going to be Happy and EnVyUs that kick things off, but Woxic, a player that was eerily absent yesterday, is there for two before he's put down. RPK going to be on the receiving end of a battering, and it's looking very good for HellRaisers now. This next trade could be everything, and Hachi's able to get one before he gets swept away. Kiyoshima played very well yesterday. Does he have this 1v2 clutch in his back pocket? The first kill's going to go his way. He needs to try and bait out. He doesn't have a kit. Had he got a kit, he could have just stuck the defuse and been just fine. But Kiyoshima's going to get the kill anyway. It's going to be close, but I think he's got it.
Yeah.
Or does he?
Yep, it's fine. Yes. And the crowd. We can hear them. They haven't been silent so far, but we can definitely feel their presence right now. And I'm sure that the players in the booth can as well. Woxic actually with a really nice shot there.
Damn.
And that's just perfect from him. But Kiyoshima's that one tap, and then the perfect position play, just tapping that bomb, forcing the terrorist to either go for it, just count his stars and just be lucky. And he's just holding the angle instead. The second he is the step, he pushes out. Happy this time around with an M4 in mid. Sees nothing, but look at this spy. 2 hero AKs on the back of that bomb plant. Issa and Angel.
So far, they've gathered a lot of room for themselves up mid. Really nothing from EnVyUs to try and stop them. They're playing deep up. They're happy to just give up this ground for the time being. Grenade not going to do any damage. It's really only Happy that's taken a chunk. Puts a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Scream. That pressure is being alleviated, courtesy of Happy's opening frag. Scream's not able to get two. This is where Hachi needs to step up to the plate. They're going to line up for him, and he'll knock them both down. And now Bondic, with the FAMAS picked up from Hachi's corpse, only had 5 bullets left. And that's not enough to get him out of dodge. 2-0.
Yeah, we have to remember that this Mirage pick is a map that Envy historically and statistically are not very good at. So for them to, let's say if they get a good start and they actually get a chance of taking Mirage in this best of 3, that's perfect from them. I feel like this is the map where they're going to struggle the most in this best of 3 series. So let's say they can make this one close. That's a very good sign for the beginning of this game. Just Glocks for now. Scream with the MP9 looking to farm himself some cash. Actually goes down. We'll get one though. Should rotate back, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Even though the MP9 is an expendable weapon, you like to have it for 2 rounds as opposed to 1.
And also when Happy's in this position, they don't give up any map control, even though he rotates back. Issa is at this position. Oh, but yes. Happy's in. Yeah, he actually overextends it a bit and wide peeks towards the left to control that spray, but Issa's there to take advantage of that. That's the M4 just gone. They have to pick that up in the window now. RPK close range. MP9, 1, 2, 3 quick ones. Hachi coming in with 1 as well. And that's the eco round done.
RPK, one of the players that was struggling yesterday. At one point, I think he was on 1-15, if memory serves me correctly. So to have him start off well, excellent news for EnVyUs. And also, MP 9 kills means he's already bagged himself a fair chunk of change. 3.3k even after this round with a full purchase. HellRaisers, though, as a result of their full save in the previous round, it's AK-47s across the board.
On Starland, it's also very interesting. Get back to that as RPK pushes up mid aggressively.
That's a kill.
Kobe! They're pretty good at basketball here in France. So makes sense for RPK to attack. Just land that one body, tries to bounce back, but Kiyoshima with the reply. 3v4 or 4v3.
Smoke to stall the Palace push, but no one is home. HellRaisers have other plans through mid. Angel trying to carve a path for the rest of EnVyUs to follow, and he's done a pretty good job so far. Scream splattered from the AK-47, and now Kiyoshima gets smoked out of position. He does have Happy, who's currently residing on CT boxes, but Kiyoshima gets a bit too antsy, gives his life away. And the pressure now mounts for Happy. Are they going to face him? Yes, they will. And it's Angel again, who's picked up his third in the round. Always a menace, always a boss on these T sides. And Haji, what can he feasibly do here? They do have enough economy to buy into the next round if he can save this M4. I think that is the call that's been given.
And I feel like Haji's story as well is one of the more interesting storylines in this matchup. Him, Woxic, and Issa, the three new players. See if he survives. He will be taken out by one of his younger brothers. But those three players like coming up into the game and now playing alongside legendary names such as RPK, such as Scream, such as Happy, such as Angel specifically on that HellRaisers team. It's such a like interesting era in Counter-Strike where we have this mix of legendary old names and new players just coming in having less than a year of their professional career already being done.
So they have to dip into a FAMAS and an M4. They don't fully invest. It's just Haji that's dwindled down to $50. Kiyoshima instantly gets dinked. He is going to trade weapons at the very least. There is Kevlar across the team of EnVyUs. But obviously getting knocked down to 19 that early is going to spell doom. Or at least you'd think.
Yeah, that would be the logical scenario. Haji just with a jump spot, as we usually see on B. No one's going to cross without him knowing. Angel and the boys now in towards mid. Happy's camping in the window. Slowly set up with 4 players towards mid right now. Deadfox just making sure no one can push from B. Let's see what the plan is here, because they can go everywhere from now. They have full mid control. Looks like a short push.
Scream will hear the pitter-patter of footsteps around the corner of ladder room.
And now it's spotted. Rotations have come in. 3 players on this B bomb site for the CT team.
Scream is able to dispatch of one. RPK is going to help him out. And there's Haji with the CZ trying to tap himself into a victory. But Issa with 2 quick-fire AK frags. And he's going to put a cat amongst the pigeons. 20 seconds to try and stall off. The 2 terrorists are not close to each other. They need to wait for Angel to get into close enough proximity to strike. 10 seconds now, and Happy, perfect lurking, will secure the round. There's no way for Angel back into this. He's going to save, and EnVyUs will take a 4-1 lead.
You can hear the crowd, you can hear the alley coming out. This man has an army behind him right now, not just in the server, but also in that crowd and HellRaisers. 1 round, the 4 of Envy. Gonna go for the hero AK. Oh, that's the safe one from Angel, excuse me. The rest of the team, not much invested. Rocks in a single, Distant Eagle and Woxic, so should be a rather easy round for EnVyUs to pick up. And already now with 5 rounds on the CT side, this is a great start from them on a map where they are not poised to do a lot of damage.
You certainly wouldn't think so, but this is a phenomenal start for the CTs. In terms of economy, it's not fantastic. There is a way for HellRaisers to win the financial war, even if they lose this round, if they can take down a bunch of EnVyUs players. But judging from how EnVyUs have held on, that's not looking likely. A lot of it has to come down to Angel. He was the player, though, in the round that they won. Yeah. He bagged himself 3 very important, influential kills. And again, in an identical spot, he looks to deliver.
RPK and Kiyoshima.
Not going to happen.
The A-bomb site, yeah. I should put it, not going to happen. Happy now, close range. Left, right, and center, doesn't care. It's all eco frags, but he's on point.
Only Happy to fall. Bondic with a Desert Eagle. And EnVyUs have successfully navigated their way from more carnage. Which is great news because it means they can get an AWP and they're starting to get some kind of money rolling.
This is one of the key rounds, one of the first actual, if not the first buy that we see AWPs coming out for both sides and decent utility. The only thing that's missing right now is Angel's AK-47 because he's only on a C set right now. Happy in that window will be smoked out. Trying to fire through the smoke, but sees nothing. Hits nothing.
Woxic, seeing the trajectory of the Molotov, knows that there is a player perched down on the car. Needs to be careful, but Haji will get the better of the trades.
Now Happy's ready with the backup as well if they decide to push in on this. And smartly enough, they don't. HellRaisers grouping back up, finding a new default, finding a new goal, and a way to attack it. Still 3 smokes and flashbangs and a single Molotov, so very doable if you gain mid-control like they're doing right now.
Scream is now positioned in ladder. Very nearly picked up a double spray by Kiyoshima to get a kill and knock Dead Fox down to 11. That is excellent work. And that could be the start of another clean sweep, but it's not going to happen. Issa, primed in position, will strike onto RPK. Bomb's going to get planted. It's all about waiting for Haji and Scream to make a move through window and short respectively. Bondic realizes that's going to be the task at hand and will go down to the hands of Scream. That may not be a good enough trade for EnVyUs, however, because still Happy is a mile away. In fact, it's Haji, pardon me. He's got a kill, but it's a one-on-one. Does have the AK-47 and a kit to play with, but time is dwindling away, and there's so many angles they haven't covered yet. He has no idea where Issa could be, and Issa will pounce from triple.
This is so smart by Issa, because he realizes the second his teammate goes down, after he got that first frag, the information that Envy has is that he's near shade. So usually, if someone is near shade and they get a kill, they rotate to either ramp or they rotate to firebox on that side of the side. He actually rotates the other way around, so that the CT is kind of like confused about where he's actually at. And that's the perfect positioning in that clutch situation. And for a player as young as he is, that's such impressive game knowledge. And under so much pressure to do that. Just great sign for his and HellRaisers' future. As they get another round on the board here, but EnVyUs, their economy wasn't as strong, so they're forced onto pistols.
Absolutely. Will allow them and afford them a full buy in the next round. But Angel, having no chill, taking no prisoners, and spraying down with Woxic. All too easy for HellRaisers. Kiyoshima gets one, but that will be all.
3 rounds on the board now for the HellRaisers. 2 Galils will be kept on board. As Issa will probably be the one to get dropped. Yes, he will. Another set of pistols for the French side. Ooh. 2 rounds in a row.
Okay, patient play. They did have enough to go for a full buy in this round. It would have been at the cost of maybe an AWP and a few nades here and there. I guess they do have a decent enough lead, so there's no rush. But normally you think of French teams and you think of these very aggressive buys and pistol purchases with Kevlar. Oh, Scream doesn't need a full weapon, it would seem. The pocket rocket lands the headshot onto Bondic, but it's not going to stop the bomb plant. And it's unlikely to stop the round, going the way of HellRaisers anyway.
3v3 and no kits for the CT side, so this is going to be very hard. They need to almost get a free opening for this to happen. And if I know HellRaisers correctly, if I know Angel correctly, no one will be allowed to give them that. Everyone just holds back and holds angles like this. Haji tries to run in before the flashbang. Doesn't matter, Issa doesn't even turn for it. Knows exactly what's up. Now 2 players remaining with the C-sets and probably just going to see if they can get some exits here. Trying to destroy the economy, surviving economy of HellRaisers.
And saving the Kevlar on Kiyoshima. A little bit of utility is worthwhile. Looking for some exits too, but it'll be HellRaisers now 1 round behind EnVyUs, breathing down their necks. But the reason for their patient play is going to be forthcoming, as a full buy will be into play. Happy with the AWP. Got themselves 4 M4s alongside it.
Full utility. The only thing that they're missing is just another kit. Kiyoshima's the only one, but might not be too big of a problem anyways, if that kit can be picked up later on in the round. Kiyoshima aggressively towards mid. Decides to smoke himself off before he goes any further.
Didn't quite catch that, but was that a missed Molotov interconnector?
Might have been.
Looked like it was a bit of rife. I think it was Angel that tossed it in. Typically you want a Molotov interconnector to stop the AWP peaks. Either way, it doesn't make a great deal of difference because HellRaisers are stacking up just outside of ramp, looking to push aggressively right here, right now. Scream, he's going to get smashed through the smoke, courtesy of Dead Fox. And Bondic is going to look to see if he can get some damage done onto stairs. The last 2 rounds, remember, were pistols and armor. It was all leading up to this point, and it could be disappointment for EnVyUs. Angel, in the meanwhile, through into the connector side, as ever on the prowl. And it doesn't seem like there's much from the CTs to stop this from being a clear-cut round. Just Happy's frag rains out. He's going to get caught in the backside. Hadji on a measly 8 health. Can't stay for much longer, and the grenade will shuffle him out of round 10, 5-5.
And even if they got, let's say, 1 or 2 entries onto that defended bomb site, Woxic was still with an AWP on A ramp, so he was going to be able to win that round anyways. Solid round coming in from HR. Another set of pistols for the Frenchmen, who are now tied up 5-5.
A 5-1 lead into 5 apiece, and EnVyUs on the back foot in terms of their money. Dead Fox not far off from the shot. No nades for EnVyUs.
Double upset of T side. Very, very rare. Especially on Mirage. On Train you can see it time and time again, but here Mirage, not something you usually see.
Especially when they must have a fair idea that EnVyUs would be into pistols. I feel like that's another potential banana peel to slip over. But as long as they play it slow and steady and don't give away lives needlessly, the round should still find its way to HellRaisers, and they should take the lead for the first time in this match.
RPK will be the first line of defense. See if the tanky can take some lives with him. Nope. Will be taken out by Angel.
Crouch peek. Smartly done by Angel. Realizing it could be against CZs. Happy in the meanwhile, though, is to put that CZ to use before he's extinguished, courtesy of Angel, who will get a second. And the round pretty much wrapped up.
Hachi here towards CT spawn and Kiyoshima towards Murder Hole, just waiting for someone to cross their path and potentially get a free exit. But if I know HellRaisers correctly, they're just going to rotate through A ramp and save their weaponry in T-spawn. Pause will be coming in for EnVyUs as well.
Makes sense. I'm fine with that. I think after the rocky last 5 or 6 rounds that they've endured,
yeah,
just to try and get a handle over things and figure out what's been going wrong. Mid controls does seem to be an issue. We saw in the first 3 or 4 rounds they played aggressively up mid. RPK did it, Scream did it,
yeah,
and they took the fight to HellRaisers. And now that they've settled down a little bit and allowed HellRaisers to dictate the pace of the action, it seems they are struggling. So I am curious if we'll start to see some more aggression come into play.
Yeah, and also the way that Angel can just, like, utilize the fact that they're not holding mid by getting in behind their lines and surprising them with these kind of frags here. This time around, not from mid, but still just rushing in, straight up taking duels. And if they can't shut him down and the players alike him with their own aggression or utility before the real push starts to happen, that's so much map control, so much damage being given away for free to HellRaisers, and they cannot allow that to happen.
I mean, the cool thing about that peek, when I was talking about with Angel, crouch peeking around the corner, is if you're against like a Desert Eagle, P250, CZ, whatever it may be, an upgraded pistol, a lot of them are going to be snap kills to the head instantly. If you're crouching, most players will have their crosshair at head height, and so it just allows you to get the slight upper hand in that trade. A very small thing, but does make a bit of difference.
Oh, for sure.
4 AWPs in play now, by the way, Riz.
This is...
Like, if this is Dust 2, fair enough.
Borderline insanity right now. And there goes one of them. It's Happy taken out of the picture. It's Dead Fox gets one to go. 4 players alive now for the French team. And Angel once more has been allowed into connector. Woxic will be taken out, but Issa replying onto RPK. And Angel is just still roaming around the site.
Bondic's able to claim a kill of his own. Scream goes down, and it doesn't seem like that tactical timeout has yielded really anything.
Angel is in CT spawn.
And he will be rewarded with a kill onto Kiyoshima. Hadji will strike. The only player along Kiyoshima to get in amongst the action. On the right side of the action, at least for EnVyUs. But HellRaisers will be taking a 7-5 lead. And as a result of another costly investment, they're on the back foot again.
Yeah. The crowd, once very loud and cheery, has been silenced for a bit. And rightfully so. Just like EnVyUs has been stunned by HellRaisers.
And this was always one of the things that we were going to talk about, as will the desk, that EnVyUs, when they're feeling it, phenomenal team. When they're not, they do go a bit absent. Very well played by Hadji. Could be a bit of inspiration that EnVyUs need desperately. He holds onto an AWP, solid flick shots. Also a CZ, he can drop that to one of his teammates.
Yeah, they can force around this.
But in terms of how this game has typically been going, it is now definitely trending towards HellRaisers getting a very solid lead at halftime.
Yeah. Just going to do pistols here, which is the wiser choice.
Strange thing to me is that Hadji didn't drop a CZ, but I guess it does allow him a bit more versatility with the AWP. He's no longer just a turret, he can play aggressively with the CZ2, and it's going to be an all-out rush. This could play into the hands of the CZ and pistol upgrade round. It's going to be Happy close range. He could strike. It's not going to happen, though. A bit more passive than Happy and EnVyUs were expecting. They thought they'd already be pushing towards the side. Hadji, in the meanwhile, is going to go onto Bondik, and there's Kiyoshima. Lightning fast kill, connecting with Dead Fox. And it seems like the terrorist is somewhat slowed down. Woxic with a solid flick towards Hadji, however, opens up the floodgates once more. That Molotov is going to play hell with Kiyoshima's positioning. He has to get towards the bench side of sight. The bomb is still dropped, though, next to default. And it's all down to the Desert Eagle close range. Kiyoshima's gonna get one. Can he connect the dots? Can he go one better? EnVyUs desperately requires a Kiyoshima! The solution for the clutch. 6-7, giving EnVyUs such a huge opportunity now.
And the two new players coming into the lineup, the core of Scream, RPK, and Happy, already eliminated. It's down to the two new players. Hachi played that perfectly off screen from short with that AWP, and then Kiyo with the clutch potential. And this truly is the spark that can ignite this comeback for EnVyUs. Only behind with one round, and now they feel like they can come in control of this game again. Economy's working their way as well, but once more mid control, not in their hands. It has been given away.
Gonna go back to the basics that saw HellRaisers pick up a flurry of rounds. Connector wasn't too far off to flick Happy. At the very least, a bit of information has been gathered.
Now, so much map control once more being allowed in the hands of HellRaisers. They have the connector right now. One man on ramp. And one player on B. They could go for the fake B plan and just straight on execute A.
Excellent work again by Woxic. RPK, Kiyoshima, Happy, all being added to the list of fallen EnVyUs players. And you can add Scream. Hadji facing off against 5 players once again to try and save the AWP. Solid shot onto Bondik, but it doesn't really make any difference in terms of how this round is going. However, it could impact the next round. And you better believe that HellRaisers are going to be chasing him down. 2 players don't have much funds, but the other 3 should be okay to buy in the next round.
See, Hachi, 40 HP. Has to survive this. Missed the first shot. Being pushed from both angles right now. Angel close, left hand. Missing that no-scope and will be taken out by the in-game lead of HellRaisers, who's already now on 8 rounds for this first half. But look at this buy, though. It's money not looking too good. And the round that's coming up now, it's going to be just pistols and 1 M4 on Happy.
Good old XM. Can be a real menace and nightmare.
Yeah.
In capable hands, and Kiyoshima, the way he's been playing the last couple of days, wouldn't put it past him. Not far off the flick for Woxic. Molotov onto car, just to cordon off that area, make sure that no one can be hopping on top and messing with the positioning in B-apps.
It's Scream on the other side of this as Hachi's pushing. So Scream, as long as he doesn't see anyone come out there, Hachi can go up, but Dead Fox is read him like a book. Knows exactly what's going on. Shut him down. Now 4v5, and still so much utility left on this T side.
And they really haven't had to expend much to get the player advantage. Now Kiyoshima, XM is very much a situational weapon. Long range, it's garbage. As you can see here, he's hit Isser a good few times and hasn't got that much health off him. Will be swept away. And now Happy, really the last line of defense. Sure, Scream has a deagle, but Happy is on triple box. He is the last man standing on A. Needs Scream to wrap around as soon as possible and land some one deeks. If there's going to be any chance, Happy with 2. Bomb goes sprawling out as well, but there's just too many players for him to handle. Ultimately, the strength in numbers approach is the successful one. 9-6 lead at halftime to HellRaisers.
I think the argument to make right now is that in order for EnVyUs to set up a winning condition, you need the 2 original stars of that core to step up, RPK and Scream. They're currently setting at 5 and 6 frags. And yes, it's not as terrible as it could be, but when you're thinking about how good these 2 players used to be, how much of a difference they used to make, that is not up to par. So those are the 2s I'm currently looking at to step it up. And the reason is why, like we saw it yesterday, we know they can do it. We know RPK can be a beast. Didn't get the nickname the Tank for nothing, but he's not showing up right now.
Definitely fair statement. Currently 5 and 12. Hachi 15-11. And keep in mind as well that Hachi has typically been the B player. That is a very depressing sight when A is consistently being taken time and time again. So Hachi to be on 15 frags, that's really impressive.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, if that French shuffle that everyone thinks is going to happen does happen, this is a great selling point for Hachi, because he's probably the one who's not in consideration for one of these top teams at the moment, but according to this game, he should be.
Well, let's see if EnVyUs can pick up the second pistol, or if HellRaisers are going to go further and further ahead. And this could spiral out of control real quick unless EnVyUs can get a handle on it. Angel, meanwhile, is going to be facing down mid against 3 terrorists who decide better of it. USP, of course, is very likely to come out ahead in those long-range affairs. They decide to come through ramp, but Bondik's already in prime position. He doesn't even need to get kills. As soon as he sees a player peek, he knows pretty much what's coming up.
3 players now on A. And 1 in the mid-rotation position, so this is such a good setup for HellRaisers.
Now Happy was found in connector. Stands to good reason it's all an A hit. No reason for HellRaisers to move. Scream. Bags himself 1. That's about all they're going to get, or is it? Kiyoshima rattling out with frags, but Angel and Dead Fox will lay the second pistol round bare and take the 4-round advantage.
Angel on 17 frags now. And yes, he's still tied with Issa, who has a generally better scoreline with only 8 deaths. But Angel is the in-game leader of this team, and he's topping the scoreboard. That is so impressive that he can manage to juggle the leadership and the calling and the reading of the game with also getting frags left, right, and center. That's one of the things that he's so known for.
Yeah, putting in a bit of a glaive performance at the moment.
Yeah.
An IGL that can frag.
Is an Angel in unison will pick up those 2 frags to start the round in mid. Just bounced back for a bit, but Bondik with the headshot, and now 4v2 with only pistols on Envy.
Here's 2 Desert Eagles, and on 2 players that have been pretty electric so far at Tour for EnVyUs. One of which is Kiyoshima, unable to connect enough shots to wear anyone down. Dead Fox with his MP9 will not make that mistake. And now Haji acres away from the bomb. Just trying to see if he can at least spot somebody on B side. That's going to be a resounding no. No reason for them to be hit. They've got the bomb under control.
Yeah, they're just holding the bomb at this point. Playing smart CS. Very strict rule set. And Haji right now just like crossing all his fingers to find someone, just get a free frag, but it's not going to be given to him. He can search all he wants, but they're just going to hold angles, and Bondik will take him out of his misery. That's HellRaisers. And another one to the board that now says 11-6. And a full eco for Envy.
I can't even really afford to get P250s. I mean, everyone's around the $2,000 mark, which is pretty much the limit. You don't want to drop below there. If you want AKs and a couple of nades to play with. Yeah. So this is a full eco. Very rare you see that from a terrorist side.
Yeah, also on the back of, they only have 2 rounds loss bonus, so you really need that 2k if you want some utility with it.
Yeah.
If you go into a 4-round loss bonus, yeah, then you can get a C-set, then you can get a Pizza 50, maybe even an Eagle, but in this case, nope. And it is the correct choice, it's just a very hard one to make.
FAMAS, not tailor-made for holding angles such as that with the 5 less bullets, but it's all good. They're going to be able to get a couple more players looking down into connector and reaping the kills. And typically, if you do go for that full eco, you're going to have around $4,300, $4,400, which is enough for a few nades, as we can see now. So the patience was for a reason.
And I really like, it could be random, but I'm thinking it's not, the way that they've structured this. So 3 players get flashes and smoke, and 2 players get a Molotov instead of the secondary flash. So they have a broad spectrum of grenades. They have everything that they want before they execute. One of them has already been thrown out. Kiyoshima has the second one of that T-side. Bondik taking that duel against Scream, and he's not lost a single point of health while Scream is on 11.
Excellent trade. HellRaisers once again. Woxic with his AWP trained into Palace. Gonna change the angle a little bit so he can spot more of Palace, more of an early warning system. They send Screaming first with 11 health. He will obliterate Bondik. Woxic in the meanwhile though, on to Haji. And this is going to be a rough ask from here on out for the terrorists. They are dropping like flies. Damage being inflicted to both sides, however. It seemed like a bit of a cluster of players in connector all blocking each other. But it ends up the way you anticipate, with a bomb being denied. And Kiyoshima on 4 health will be finished off. HellRaisers' 7-round lead in cruise control.
Looking very dominant right now. And once more, Team EnVyUs are in a position where, yes, they can get some CZs, a couple of flashbangs, Desert Eagle, but nothing more than that. And that's the problem, right? Because if they can't even win like A executes with full setups, like how are they going to win anything with pistols? Scream goes for the head armor, but he needs a 1 dig and a half to get this one going. On the other side of things, HellRaisers is just so stable right now. 4 rounds in a row on the CT side. Peeking aggressively is Angel, even against pistols. Confidence is there. Sees them top mid. Secondary one comes in for him. Fully flashed, but the backup is there for his teammate. Is an Angel in control of this mid area. No one is getting past them.
A clean sweep. Not a single player of HellRaisers will fall. In the last 14 rounds, HellRaisers have won 13 of them.
That is insane. This is the buy, though. Like, if they don't win this, this map is over.
That is pretty much exactly the situation we are in. And EnVyUs, desperation mode against the ropes, looking to come out swinging. They've got the weaponry to pull it off.
They got the setup for another quick A push. All 5 AKs. Try and speed things up. Kiyoshima to open. Taken out by Issa once more. This time he's rotated. Not holding mid anymore. He's on A. Ready to let the damage roll.
And the heads will roll on the side of EnVyUs as a guillotine comes down briskly. Issa still finding kills. I'm not sure if he just assumed that was a corpse on Tetris. Very strange, but it does give EnVyUs now a gateway back into the round. And that's being taken away. Slammed in the face of Happy. Scream. Not gonna happen. 15-6, and has been a bit of an anticlimactic end to this map. It was looking like it'd be really close at one point.
Yeah, from that first half, or the beginning of the first half, before HellRaisers took away, it was a 5-1 start, and then everything just collapsed for EnVyUs. Seems like everything was going their way, but then Issa happened, 27-9. Then Angel happened, 24-9. And the rest of the team doesn't even need to step up, because those two are just dealing out so much damage. Another buy will be coming in. It's not the worst of the ones they had so far, but it is without Molotov. 1 for 1. And Woxic gets the advantage.
Happy has connected a second, but it's only him that's gone on to any kind of spree in the 22nd round. Kiyoshima and Haji had a pretty solid first half, but it's gone eerily quiet for the two of them.
I think that's the case for the whole team of Envy, to be honest.
Definitely a fair statement. Very much isolated for the time being. Well, Kiyoshima's about to get some backup. As he goes walking through connector. I think he was just spotted by Dead Fox. I think he saw his foot go across to the other side of connector.
I think so as well.
So that call will come through. It's why Woxic is looking straight into Murder Hole, and it will live up to its name. Kiyoshima has been destroyed, as have EnVyUs on this half. Haji, last chance, last hope. And he's being toyed around with from CT boxes by Bondic. And 16-6 will be the end result. It was HellRaisers' choice of map. We didn't think EnVyUs had a huge amount of hope, but it's really the nature in which they've lost that's giving us a bit of concern.
They had a really good start, and everything looked to go the way of maybe potentially an upset, but it just fell apart in the end. Definitely RP can't scream. We know they can do better than this. They know they can do better than this. Hopefully, for this second map, they can bounce back and get that team talk going, get the momentum going, get the confidence going for that second map.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Mirage. You know, this isn't the map that they picked.
No.
We're going up to Train next. It is a map that we know that they can be pretty solid on.
Yeah.
So we just have to hope that the right players are going to show up. As ever, that's always the question that you're asking when it comes to EnVyUs. Are they going to show their true potential? Are they going to show exactly what we saw on that first day on Inferno, where they just obliterated 16-3?
And if I'm not mistaken, Inferno is the third map of the series.
Yep.
So let's say, imagine that EnVyUs play their usual style and take Train, then we're on to Inferno. Then the PTSD might hit HellRaisers. We don't know.
They could very well do so. But that's enough from us, guys. We're going to head to a quick break, and Rejoice will be live for map number 2.